What is going on, everybody? I'm David, and we are here to discuss the wonderful victory over the Texans today with a score of 18-15. We are now tied with the Patriots and Colts for the top of the AFC, so let's have a drink and let's talk about this fantastic win. Okay, so starting off, some of you may be wondering why on earth I am wearing a Bills shirt. Well, the answer to that question is second to Denver, the Bills are my favorite team. And as of me recording this, they just beat the Chiefs 28-21. So I am a very happy man today. Both of my teams won. But that's not what we're here to talk about. We are here to talk about how ass Denver was, but still managed to crank out this win. If we had lost today to 5 field goals from the Texans with Davis Mills throwing the ball for 3.5 quarters, I would have lost my shit. But then again, I had faith because we have won so many games, countless different ways. I mean, we're talking 2 touchdown comebacks, 3 touchdown comebacks in the fourth quarter. Just insane comebacks in the fourth quarter. And besides that, the other obvious thing to note is that for the first 3 quarters, we are shit. And that showed up again today. And I don't know how to feel about it, honestly. Like, I'm happy we're winning. We're 7-2. Up there, Patriots, Colts, us. We're all tied for first. And yet, I still am skeptical because how many more times are we going to do this? Every game, I'm thinking, you know what? It can't happen again. We can't squeak by with another fourth quarter comeback. But here we are going into the fourth quarter of this game. We're down 15-7. I posted a TikTok saying we needed another fourth quarter miraculous comeback. And once again, I don't know what is with the fourth quarter, but they woke up, scored a touchdown and a field goal for 11 points to come out on top, 18-15, squeaked by with that win. And you know what? A win's a win. You know what? That's where we're at. But anyways, breaking down the game. First quarter of this game, I think it was, I believe, 3-0 at the end of it. And this offense was killing me. I mean, the amount of drives that just ended. I mean, Bo Nix didn't complete a pass in the fucking first quarter. He went 0 for 5 in the first quarter. Like, what? Well, for one, why are we having so few offensive snaps? Because I think we had, like, we went 0 for 5, and then I believe J.K. Dobbins was literally the rest of the offense. Was the only reason why we're getting first downs. And I feel like week after week, we keep seeing J.K. Dobbins lighting up the stat sheet. But yet, and he's like, what, 3rd in the NFL in rushing yards. Yet, for some reason, we just do not commit to him more often, which I don't get. I'm not sure if he's trying to be Drew, like everyone keeps talking about how people are expecting Bo Nix to be Drew Brees, or they want him to be Drew Brees, or they think Sean Payton wants him to be Drew Brees. So I wonder if that's like someone in their head, or what's going on, because I feel like we're trying too hard to pass. I mean, I don't even think Bo completed 50% of his passes today. Or if he did, it was just over 50%. I mean, personally, if it were me, I would much rather be a passing offense than a rushing defense. It's more entertaining. But if rushing the ball is going to win us games, then that's what we need to do. So going into the second quarter, we were down 3-0. The Texans just kept, it was 5 field goals in this game. I was like, it was great because they kept going all the way down the field, and they stopped them and kicked the field goal. Obviously, in the first quarter, they missed a kick, and then we immediately get a kick blocked. So field goals were just not going well for either side. But then they just kept tacking on field goals, and going into halftime, I believe it was 12-7. I believe, yes, they went for 4 of their 5 field goals in the first half. And they scored the 1 touchdown, which was great. You know, we proved to them that we could score. I knew this was going to be a low-scoring game with the amount of how great our defense was. I mean, us and the Texans were 1 and 2, right there, defense in all the categories. So I knew it was going to be low-scoring. But I wanted something more than a first quarter with no completions. And at halftime, we were losing, especially after Chris Abrams-Drain absolutely murdered C.J. Stroud on that hit. Like, his head literally bounced off the turf like it was a bouncy ball. It was insane. So prayers up for him. Hopefully he's doing okay. I'm guessing he's probably going to miss a few weeks with a concussion. Hopefully, he doesn't turn to Tua. But anyways, so going into half. We were down 12-7. We had showed only one drive of any sort of decency. I mean, Bo Nix had thrown a pick. Terrible pick. Absolutely overthrew Cortland Sutton by a mile. I was watching that. I don't know the way the play was, but it felt like he had a solid 2-3 seconds before that pick was picked off. There he had Cortland open before the defender got to him. So that was annoying. And then so going into halftime, I was like, okay, we just please come to the half committing to the run. And we did do that. But it didn't work. I mean, we got some rushing yards and a couple first down, but it didn't score points. And then the Texans scored another field goal, and we were down 15-7, which is technically still a one-score game, and I was like, oh my gosh. And then, we go into the fourth quarter. We are just going, and I was like, okay, fourth quarter, this is what we've done. We've done it so many times. 3 of the 4 last weeks, we have come back in the fourth quarter by some insane miracle. And we score a touchdown, right? I was sitting there, okay, it's 15-13. I'm like, I know we're going for two to tie it, and I know we're going to miss it. And then they made it. And I'm sitting there okay, should I stop doubting them? I'm so used to them over the last 10 years of them just failing and failing and failing and failing. And nothing. But now this year we're consistently doing the things that I never thought we would do consistently. And one of them is converting 2-point attempts. I mean, our conversion rate's got to be top of the league if you look at this point. So we tied it 15-15. And I'm like, okay. We just got to get one more field goal. I mean, we had 10 minutes left in the fourth quarter. We got a field goal. And then it was just punt, 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 back and forth, stopping the clock, punt. I mean, for God's sakes, this game, we thought it was never going to end. And then finally, the last drive, I'm like, okay. Our second to last drive, we punted back. I was like, oh gosh. And then they immediately go 3 and out and take no time off the clock. And I was like, oh my gosh, we're going to have another chance with a lot of time. I was like, okay. We got this, And then they moved the ball, and then all of a sudden I was like, oh my gosh, we're not going to do it. And then Bo Nix just has that play where he just in the pocket scrambles and rushes for 25 yards, gets out of bounds, and gets into field goal range. And then from there we rush it a couple more times, get a little bit closer, and then we have a nice easy chip shot. Once again, I think it's the 5th time I feel in the last month and a half that we've had to this year that we had to end a game on a game-winning kick. Either it would be us kicking it or the other team kicking it. So every time this happens, I start getting very nervous because we don't have good luck typically, even though we've had it for a while now. But I still have that bit of doubt in my stomach. And then he chips up, no problems. I mean, the stadium was dead quiet, except for the few Denver fans that were cheering. And I was like, oh, okay, dodged a bullet. We walk away, squeak away with an 18-15 win, which is a weird score, especially considering the fact that all the Texans' points were field goals. Which, by the way, if you had him in fantasy, Ka'imi Fairbairn, you did pretty good. You probably had to have at least 20 points almost in field goals. But anyways, so, this game, takeaways. It's the same thing that I said in my recap last video. Denver needs to stop sucking in the early parts of football games. It is fucking getting old. I mean, God, besides the Cowboys game, I think that Cowboys the only team we've blown out or had a comfortable lead, so we don't need to, panic until the clock's hit 0. There might be one other game, I can't think of it. But anyways, so I would like some consistency. Luckily, next week we got the Raiders, and we better blow them out. We better beat them by at least 3 scores. I mean, for God's sakes, they suck. I can't believe they haven't benched Geno Smith yet. And Ashton Jeanty has looked like ass. I don't know if that's just him just not performing well, or is this the Raiders' offensive line is just that ass. I don't know what it is. I obviously haven't been watching the Raiders. But we need to go into next week and dominate on offense. We destroyed the Cowboys' defense. The Raiders' defense is not much better. So we need to destroy that defense. And then the week after that is the Chiefs game. We've got to go in that game, rest. Honestly, if we lose to the Chiefs, I'll be fine, because if we win next week, we'll be, 8-2. If we lose to the Chiefs, we could go 8-3 going into the bye. I'll be stoked at 8-3 going into the bye. And then we have that week off, and we come back. Pat Surtain back on that Monday night game in Washington against the Commanders, which was honestly probably more enticing earlier before the Commanders suck because Jaden Daniels can't stay healthy. But anyways, Texans and Broncos, we dominate. We win 18-15 off of some miraculous fourth quarter nonsense once again. So hopefully next week we can take a break from that so that way I don't have a heart attack, because that would be lovely. But anyways, guys, it was great chat with you. I'm David in the sexy suit, and I will see you guys next time.